Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Use Me by Bill Withers. A super duper funky tune, this one. And you only need E minor and A to play along with the whole thing. So you can start real simple if you're a beginner, just simple strums on the chord changes. You can start funkying it up a little bit if you want. Even though using this app is a really great tool, don't miss playing along with the original recording as well. Okay, it's so funky and there's so much good stuff to absorb by playing along with the original recording. It is something that you should be working on as well. It's a magical tune, it's so groovy that's the sort of stuff that you just can't capture with the kind of the MIDI thing that we use for this app. But that said, this is a fantastic tool that you can play along with anywhere you like. You've got the little melody thing to keep you going. You can change the tempo. There's lots of great things about this as well. But don't miss the original. The original is so cool. Anyways, let's play along with this one. Again, I'll just take you through as usual. Just start off with real simple strumming and then I'll get in a little bit more funky with it. I might even burst into a little bit of bar chordy stuff where you can use the E minor and the A. I might start playing it here, E minor, or E minor 7 even. Might get properly funky to the A chord, just because it makes it a little bit more, you can get a little bit more of this little clicky thing going on as well, which is pretty hip. So, let's go. lots and lots of fun things to explore in this tune because it is so simple with the chords. Now, I tried a whole heap of different things there. Mostly I played through the stops. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't play through these things loads of times before doing the filming. I've listened to the original recording just to refresh my memory of how the song goes if I'm not familiar with it. Then I play along. Nearly every time, it's pretty obvious what should happen, so I don't need to. This time there's like, oh, it stopped there. And it does stop on the original recording. But if you're playing along and you're playing at a party or whatever, you probably need to keep playing through those stops. Now, the chords don't change. It's still exactly the same amount, the same length of time on each chord, still just going E minor to A. So I played through it a couple of times. The last time I thought, well, actually, I'll give you an example of what you can do if you do want to stop, and that's to keep the rhythm. Because if you're playing the tune with your mates at a party or whatever, or you've just had dinner and somebody grabs a guitar and you start playing this tune, you can't just kind of stop. It's a bit weird. So you need to do something. Either you just chill out. A couple of times I tried to give you examples of that where I was just like going, kind of moving to kind of open power chords, keeping it real simple. Or you can do the muted thing, so you just grab the guitar neck so there's no strings ringing out. Again, the key thing here is keeping the strumming consistent. That's what you need to be doing. It's this consistent strumming that's going to make the big difference there. If you let the strumming go a bit AWOL, it's not really going to work very well. So if you're familiar with some of the variations of these chords, you might like to try those as well. Like for the E minor, you can do a hammer-on. That kind of thing can work pretty well. You could even adding little finger down, second fret of the thinner string. That kind of thing, or third fret on the second string makes it an E minor 7. That would also be a very funky chord for this kind of style. If you're into that level of playing, you might want to check out my Chord Explorer series over on the website. For the A, definitely, no matter what version of A you play, I teach it using fingers 1, 2 and 3, but with the first finger on the third string. But I often, particularly going from E minor, I use fingers 2, 3 and 4. Doesn't really matter which one you use. Use the one that's most comfortable for you. In the real world, you end up using different fingerings depending on what song it is that you're playing. But a nice one with that is lifting the little finger off. It's actually called A sus2, but just E minor, A. You can really get to town. There's a lot of variations that you might like to try and use for this kind of song. And I nearly forgot to mention, so excuse this little diversion, but I forgot to mention the bar chords and the 16th note strumming. So let me just go back and mention that. So as well as playing the open, E minor and the A, sounds a little bit more like it if you use the E minor bar chord, the 5th string root, to an A chord. It's the same shape, but with a 5th string root, it's the minor chord. The thicker string root, it's the major chord. Now, the big advantage of those sort of chord grips, aside from them being movable, they're intermediate level chords. So, in my beginner's course, we stick with open chords. In the intermediate level, we learn the movable bar chord shapes. But the big advantage, of course, is that if you keep the chord down, you get the note. But if you relax the fingers, you get a kind of a dead sound there. Now, if you do 16th note strumming, which means 16 arm movements in a bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and are all down. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you get that feeling with these kind of chords, you can get really pretty hip there. And you're controlling you're kind of strumming every 16th note, but then just pressing the chord down sometimes letting it ring. That's a much more intermediate thing, but it's the kind of thing that if you're feeling confident with your rhythm and your arm is moving nice and consistently all of the time, you might like to have a bit of a go at it because it's quite fun. So look, I really hope you enjoyed this and you check out my app and all of the other lessons on the site. I'll see you for plenty more very soon. You all take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.